Okay, what we got is our, I want to talk real quick about our top of the line drain plug light that we have. It's a 8,000 lumen, 133 watt luminous equivalency light. It is about 2.25 inches in overall diameter, half inch NPT, which is national pipe thread, regular top pipe thread. This is your existing drain fixture that's on almost all boats, probably 90%. Just light obviously screws right in to your drain fixture. The way this light is tightened up is an off-center hole that's bored through it. Use a regular Phillips screwdrivers, a wrench to tighten this thing and loosen it up to install or remove. Another purpose of my video is to talk about our competition out there. We got a guy on eBay that just finds it completely necessary to continually bash us and come up with whatever type of story he thinks he can come up with about our products. So we are real proud of what we do around here, and actually take some of this stuff personal, because we do manufacture these lights. We build them right here in Texas. The whole thing is made in the USA. So what I want to do is, this guy, he talks about our lights, and he's talking about, counting the number of LEDs and how many chips are in there, and saying X amount of chips is worth X amount of wattage. Well, that's not right. The essential rule of these LEDs, you have voltage, you have amperage, you have rated output, input voltage, etc. There are all types of factors that come into play with an LED. It's not just simply X amount of dots equal X amount of watts. As far as that goes, you can Google that. It's just a simple thing. There's different size diodes. There can be a 3-watt diode. There can be a 0.025 watt diode. Has nothing to do with the dots on the LED. These little bitty dots has nothing to do with it. Okay, there's just an infinite amount of variables, and every manufacturer of LED is different. So what we have also is the lumens. Talk about lumens. Lumens are not what's considered wattage. And when we talk about an LED, people want to know how many watts. Well, the fact of it is if you go into a Home Depot and you're looking at an LED light, for instance, an LED floodlight for your house or outside, if you look at the box, you'll see lumens. Hypothetically, it'll say lumens and lumens, and it'll say the luminous equivalency of this particular light is X amount. The reason for that is LEDs aren't measured in wattage; they're measured in lumens. And for the way light bulbs have been made forever, is the way people understand it is in wattage. So LED manufacturers have to put something in context to make people understand that X amount of lumens is equivalent to X amount of wattage. So it's hard, people grasp. It's still not a mainstream characteristic of saying, hey, this is 1,000 lumens and it's 48 watts or 9 watts or 30 watts. It all depends. So you have these numbers that people don't always understand. So what we're talking about, every LED, long story short, what it is, an LED is lumens, and lumens has luminous equivalency in wattages. Okay. The other thing is when you measure lumens are measured on an incandescent bulb around the circumference of an LED of a regular incandescent bulb, like a household light bulb. When you measure lumens on that, you measure it all the way around. When you measure lumens on an LED, it's measured in a particular beam angle. So it's all measured differently. So that being said, some people will have an LED flashlight, and an LED flashlight will say hypothetically 1,000 lumens. Well, the thing of it is, an LED flashlight isn't made to be used in the water. So an LED flashlight, LED floodlights, they all have reflectors inside behind the LED. So what happens is you have a focused beam of light. Well, when you put an LED light like this in the water, it refracts light. So let's say you had 120, 30, 40, 50, 60, 180 degree beam of light. Well, you put that in the water and you're going to have 180 degrees of light because of the refraction. It's going to refract everywhere. So there's no reason to have reflectors. There's no reason to have a convex lens. There's no reason to have these things on LEDs that go into water, because they actually hinder the performance of the LED. So what our experience is too with these lights, we've been making LED lights since 2001. We used to build custom choppers, custom motorcycles, custom Harleys, and we would implement LEDs in the rear fenders of motorcycles, encapsulate and manufacture brake lights for custom choppers. So that's where we got to the point of one day we bought an underwater LED, and it was just not good. And if you've seen some of our other videos, you can tell how we kind of broke down the insignificance of some of those other competitors. But what it is we've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this 15 years now. So the best thing about our lights, if you figure you're getting the most powerful and the best built underwater lights that exist at any price level, regardless of the manufacturer. Lumens per dollar, we are untouchable at this level, and in fact, our lights are made, like I said, right here in Texas. So I want to go. This is, like I said, this is our Vega drain plug light. It is 6061 anodized aluminum, 1/2-inch pipe thread. These are the same exact pipe thread that's on your boat. Same pipe thread you could get in any hardware store if you had to have an adapter, which you usually don't, or you actually never do. And then we have our bronze Vega. Okay, so we have our bronze light, and same thing, same size. It's just solid billet bronze. Of course, this is a little bit heavier light because it is solid billet bronze. It works the same way as the other. Has the same 8,000 lumen LED. And the reason we make this out of bronze is this is what we call our offshore series light. It basically is something that in almost every case, if you have a boat that's just all its sole purpose is to be using salt water, it's going to have a bronze garboard, this being the bronze garboard. Okay, so if you put bronze with bronze, you're not going to have any problem. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But this is our bronze Vega. Okay, same, like I said, 133 watt luminous equivalency, 8,000 lumens. Our light has 2-core silicone impregnated copper stranded wire. It can handle the ins and outs. If you need to drain it and you need to take this thing out, you can let this thing hang however you want to hang it. It's completely sealed by the material. It's completely manufactured, just big enough for this wire to shoot through here. Okay, it's not gonna come loose. You can drain your boat and you can install this thing multiple cycles. It's not that big a deal. Okay, so that being our Vega. Now this does not come with our lights. You're going to get this light just like this, and you're also going to get our driver that's proprietary to our lights. So, and that being this right here. This is our driver. Basically what this does is this controls the amperage to our light. Okay, it does the same thing with the bronze or the black Vega. Okay, and some of our other lights. Now this is this helps the longevity of this fixture, and it's nice. It has mounting points. It has cooling fins. You actually just put 12 volts in one side and the positive goes out to the light. That's all there is to it. Then you ground the other side, boom, your light's working. If you can hook up jumper cables, you can hook this light up. It's simple connections. So that being said, I'm going to start talking about this other guy's light real quick and how his functions, since you've seen ours, and see how it's built. And got stuff on this one again, but I want to put these two guys right here next to each other. Now the guy that constantly is just, I'm gonna use the word mean mouth. I'm in Texas, and that's pretty much what we say around here. So what we have is this huge thing. Okay, it's enormous. There's no reason for this thing to be this big. This thing is 3 inches in overall diameter. Okay, it is what this is an actual. This is the competition's light. This is the guy that's always talking bad about our product. This is the Chinese LED. Okay, and if you want to talk about something, he talks about you count the dots. Well, he just has the same essential dots. He's calling this a 100-watt light. And whatever. It's not even close to anything like that. Okay, so you got a fire hose fitting. This goes to the fire hose. You see this rubber seal, this black piece? He doesn't even bother taking it out. Fire hose hooks to this. Okay, you hook the fire hose to this thing, seals in here, and that's all this is. Then you have the on the back of his, he has a 3/4 inch NPT. Then he gives you this fitting to screw onto the back, so it becomes 1/2 inch NPT, which is where it eventually hooks to your boat. Now he spackles in some kind of putty. This looks like the stuff that you fix fuel tanks with. It's just spackled in there, and then you have his wire. I don't know if you can read this, but what it says is a small speaker cable, 2 conductors, 16 gauge. This is the same stuff you buy in your house for a house if you wire a house up. This is some kind of household wire, and it gives you this jumbled up stuff that it's steel wound wire. It's not good for water use. I mean, this thing will begin to oxidize within days, corrode within days. And not only that, this is exactly how this thing came out of the box, by the way. You have his connector here. He's cut it, heat shrink. So you've got something that's cut, you got heat shrink. This thing's supposed to be for marine use. You know, you don't use heat shrink on a marine grade application and keep your fingers crossed and hope that it works. Okay. The other biggest problem with this is the fact that this light is 3 inches in diameter. Now, if you'll notice on your boat, this piece right here, that's at the lowest point of your boat, and that's because it's a drain. So it's at the lowest point of your boat. So what happens is when you install this monster fire hose piece, you get his adapter. You screw his adapter on, which is just another weak point. Then you have to screw it to your drain in your boat. So you end up installing this, and what happens is, for instance, this is going to be the bottom of your boat. This is going to be the hole line, and what happens is this huge fixture ends up being below the hole line. So what happens then is you have the water hitting this thing, and then you have lateral deflection off this thing. So you have pressure, water pressure being hit on this. You're going to hit, you got lateral force. It's going to be dragging in the water. It's going to be hitting, hopefully not, but be hitting logs. It can be ripped out. You beat your boat. This thing's coming off. It's going to take your transom with it. I mean, do you really, common sense will tell you this thing's going to be hanging down off your boat. It's going to cause cavitation for your owl drive because it disturbs the water so bad. It's just on and on the multiple problems you could have with this lot. Okay, it's just massive. Way too big and cheaply made, of course, as with other things the guy makes. So we talked, and he puts on he also has an auction dedicated to a buyer's guide, who, once again, this is an auction he has on eBay, and all he does is talk about the fact that, how our lights and how we're telling stories and all these different configurations. Well, he also talks about galvanic corrosion and how, if you put a dissimilar metal together. Well, let me tell you, all his lights, all this is bronze, first of all. Good for him. Okay, bronze. Our light here, this is bronze, solid billet bronze. But let me tell you, when you have dissimilar metals, this piece is brass. Okay, bronze, brass. Possibly on your boat, this is going to be brass or bronze. So you have a dissimilar metal. It doesn't matter. Dissimilar metals are dissimilar metals that cause galvanic corrosion. And to begin with, we're talking about salt water here. Okay, fresh water, this doesn't apply. Salt water is going to create a galvanic corrosion based on the electrical differences, and on when you introduce something into salt water. It's just the way it works. So he talks about aluminum not being compatible with brass. Okay, well, bronze isn't compatible with brass. Brass isn't compatible with stainless steel. Bronze isn't compatible. You have dissimilar metals, like straight across the board. It doesn't matter. If you have a dissimilar metal, you have dissimilar metal, and you have to be able to combat that. And we have a product on our website called Tef Gel. Okay, and then we're talking about our aluminum parts. You have let me get this boat anchor, this light out of the way real quick, and then we have people talk about the guy's talking about our aluminum light. Well, let me tell you how it's not suitable for water. Well, of course it's suitable for water, but let's just talk about the fact that I think he means salt water, because fresh water is not going to hurt this thing. So you got salt water. So you have aluminum light, possibly with a brass fitting. So you use Tef Gel on these two fittings, and it's not going to have galvanic corrosion. It protects it and seals it 100%. If you're worried about it, buy the bronze. You're going to have a bronze fixture. No dissimilar metal corrosion, nothing to take place, no reactions to take place. You're good to go. Now here's the deal. He talks about aluminum for salt water. Okay. Well, let me tell you, there's aluminum boats all over Alaska, and probably the absolute aluminum hull boats all over Alaska. Fishing boats, aluminum everywhere up there. Salt water, and probably one of the best wakeboard boats that are made is called a Pavati, and it's 100% entirely aluminum. So this thing is perfectly safe for salt water if you use Tef Gel. Tef Gel isolates those things. So the next thing is excuse me. I talked about the fact you salt water on our bronze thing. Talked about dissimilar metals, And you know, I'm going on about this thing, but what you're comparing, what you're getting here, you get an our light. When you purchase our product, you get our light. This light right here, this Vega, it's bronze. Only buy it if you're using salt, if you're in salt water. This ranges anywhere from 285 to 315. This is what you get, not this. You get the light, you get the wire, you get this, and we have other products that go along with it if you need to buy those on our website or on eBay. So this is the products you get anywhere from 285 to 315, depends on where you buy them from. Okay, that's our driver. This is this guy's light. Anywhere he sells this thing for $199. All right, and now here's the thing that disturbs me the most about this whole configuration. This right here is what you get when you buy his light. This is his driver. This is the driver. This is the thing that powers this fire hose part. Okay, what you have is you have this fitting that he's in this pigtail wiring that he didn't even bother completely encapsulating here. Then he sticks electrical tape on the other end, I guess in an effort to hold the black and red wires together, because if you look close, they're down inside there. Then he gives you this little mess that's soldered on the end. But the thing of it is when you're looking at this, and if you don't 100% know what you're looking at, it probably no big deal. But let me tell you first, I'm not going to go into super detailed explanation on this as far as the material, but this material that he's used to encapsulate, this is not the proper material to encapsulate an LED driver. Not only that, if you see these horizontal lines right here, this is the same thing, you know, these cooling fins that we have on ours. Okay, this is a heat sink. Okay, heat sinks are made to let airflow across them. So now what he's done, and he'll probably fix, because he, you know, we're telling him how to fix it, but you know, whatever on that. This is for information for our customers, but this thing is completely encapsulated. So now he's blocked off all the heat dissipation properties of this driver. So now it's no longer cooling itself. In addition, I'm not even going to use the proper word, but this thing doesn't let heat escape from it. This material that he's used is incorrect to be using on a driver. So then you have, like I said, you have this terribly made, I don't see how this guy puts this thing out and is happy about it. The only thing this guy's trying to do is make a dime instead of making customers, and it's obviously shows. So here's the final word on this whole deal. Do you want fire hose parts, or you want a quality product? Okay, you can look at these things and tell which one's made better. All right. And let me tell you one more thing about our business real quick. We're nationally certified mobile electronic certification program. We've been certified to do 12 volts marine and automotive insulation since 1984. Okay, in our shop we have over 75 years of combined automotive and marine electronic experience. Take a look at these two. Take a look at these two real close. I mean, which one of these would you trust on your boat? So, you know, basically, if you turn the sound off on this video and you're just looking at these two things, you know, another thing you want to ask yourself: how many videos does this guy have with his lights in the water? How many pictures does he have of his light in the water? Every single photo that you see on our website, that you see on our Facebook page, that you see on eBay, that you see on our other avenues of retail, okay? Every single photo you see, every video you see, those are sent in to us by our customers. All right? This guy has none. This guy has no videos, nothing showing what you're actually getting. So it's kind of simple what you want to choose as far as I'm concerned. Quality product made in America, or some hardware parts bought from a firehouse sale, I guess.